You know, those moments in which you could have been involved in a huge misunderstanding and you really wished you could tell your version of events, like your truth. We have heard that before in this channel, right? In some cases, that is in the form of a Netflix documentary, and the latest celebrity to do that is, well, none other than Jussie Smollett in a Netflix documentary, that is. And yes, I watched the whole thing, so you don't have to. And I have to say, this is the third time I upload this analysis because Netflix keeps taking it down. So I will have to go easy on the clips because apparently the only thing that I could do is to tell you all the inconsistencies and reasoning fallacies that he tries to present here. Well, first thing, most important thing that we need to get right out of the gate is that he still, well, vouches for his innocence.
Trust me, there have been people that have come to me and said, just say that you did it, but why would I say that I did something if I didn't?
Oh, he didn't do it. I didn't do it. I noticed the way that he is presented in a lot of darkness around him, like he is in the middle of that darkness and he doesn't know what to do. He wants to tell his story, which is the same story, by the way. And yeah, this documentary is almost 1 hour and a half long. That is way too much. Maybe 45 minutes. That would be reasonable. But the fact is that this documentary is 2 in 1. It's basically 2 parts. The first part is all the recollection of events that we know. So, well, we have always known that he paid to these brothers to stage this attack because he was a really prominent voice for Black Lives Matter, for queer rights and whatnot. And he was looking for a way to, promote that status to, let's see, a higher level by getting punched by some MAGA crazy people. That the whole thing that happened back in 2019. But the second part of the documentary is quite interesting because it tries to debunk the narrative. It tries to present or have some kind of argument for Smollett's innocence just based on the fact that the Chicago Police Department is corrupt. And I will speak about that in a moment because, okay, I think that we could agree that there is no police department in any place of the world that couldn't have a bit of, grease on the gears, if you know what I mean. But right now, the first part is to address that he tries to frame it all from emotions of how he was targeted in some way. He was framed with all this. It seems that all that the brothers said, the brothers that punched him, that he paid them. Oh, the payment, by the way, let's start with the payment. The payment was not for the brothers to punch him and stage the attack. No, the payment was, oh, he's so ashamed of saying this. The payment was for one of the brothers to buy some kind of illegal steroids that are not available in the United States. All right, okay, that checks out, whatever you say. Then we have the, let's say the documentary tries to, follow the narrative that Jussie is actually guilty, right, of whatever happened. That is at the start when they present all the stuff that happened, especially that police body cam footage of arriving at his apartment, and he still has the noose around his head. And it has been a long time since he, was, hit in the floor in the middle of the snow in a freezing Chicago night with a polar weather. And he was explaining, oh, no, I take the noose away. When I arrive home, I put that back in so police could see what was going on. And no, it is, even in the documentary itself, make the argument that that is a strange thing to do. That it is a bit odd that he had to stage, This is how the noose was around of my neck when I woke up. Now, I'm explaining this because in terms of evidence, there's huge cherry picking in here. They literally forget about all the evidence and have no explanation for certain things, like why Smollett never gave his phone and his phone records. His argument, the only argument that he has, is that he wanted to protect the privacy of the people who he communicates with, or something like that. He said that what he was concerned with. I mean, if he was actually concerned, if he realized that his reputation and all this fallout was hanging by a thread, and he was actually being prosecuted, and everything was against him, and the evidence was against him, I mean, if anyone, not only me, if anyone was in his place, you would have cooperated in every single way. Oh, no, he was protecting, I don't know, his own privacy of others. Why wouldn't you cooperate with police in every single way? And that's when we need to address the second part of the documentary. The first part is just a setup so you are engaged in, it's like a bait and switch. It's like he's going to reveal something. No, he stands by his argument up to the very end. But the bait and switch is that the first part of the documentary segues into how corrupt Chicago Police Department is. And the way that they want to present that Smollett is innocent is that essentially the Chicago Police Department, and this is the argument, the main argument of the documentary, framed him. They use this case to make themselves look good in the actual facts that they had this very corrupt cases, very corrupt behavior, shooting of people on the street. All the things that Chicago Police Department has been guilty of. And they try to frame all this as in, it means that Jussie is innocent, right? That doesn't check out. That simply doesn't work like that. And there's one big reasoning flaw. And there's the most important thing that I can analyze from this. And that's why I immediately dismiss the whole documentary. The whole documentary is around making Chicago Police Department like this corrupt entity that framed Jussie Smollett just to make themselves look good. So let me get this straight. Let's say that for 1 second that is how this works. Chicago Police Department is so corrupt and they have to find something, anything, to have good public relations. How does it work that you choose one of the most notorious cases like ever in the history of the city, was already worldwide news, to try to wash away your own bad reputation? I mean, if you have bad reputation, that only is going to bring more scrutiny to you. So they trying to frame this as, that was the corrupt police officers wanted to look good by, sending this innocent man to jail. That is nonsense. That is nonsensical. Because number one, they did not start this. It was Jussie Smollett who went to the Chicago Police Department to, denounce all this, or make up all this, we could say. It was not the Chicago Police Department that started the fire, so to speak. This very public guy went to them. They had to investigate. It was mandatory. They had no other option. And when they went down that rabbit hole, it means that the evidence, all the evidence, was against Smollett. So you understand what I'm saying, right? I'm telling you, so you don't have to watch the documentary, that this is two parts, in which the argument for Smollett's innocence is the false equivalence that, since the CPD, Chicago Police Department, is corrupt, and it means that all that evidence, all that thing that there's also even two witnesses, two independent witnesses that they didn't take into account, and the recollection of those witnesses in the documentary is flimsy at best. And you say, this is all that you got? You made all this to what exactly? This only makes you look even worse now, because you're looking for some kind of empathy that never arrives, that never kicks in. I'm saying, you even interview the two brothers, and the two brothers also look absolutely legit. And they are releasing a book right now in a couple months about all this. You know, you have to get money out of this somehow, right? So how do I say this? It's like he had the opportunity to redeem himself. He had the opportunity to actually rebuild his career. He now has the opportunity to sue the Chicago Police Department instead of making silly documentaries. Why doesn't he sue the Chicago Police Department if they frame him? I will leave you with that question because I have the answer. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.